Not quite yet.
Oh, you said going live.
No, just here.
4 seconds.
We got
All right.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
and justice for all.
Ashley, you want to take the roll call?
Good evening. Thompson,
We can't hear her.
Thompson,
for me.
They have no
Are
audio.
you muted?
Can't hear.
Council chambers is muted. They can hear you guys. Trying to get Ash.
Mike Thompson,
Here.
Hannah Irving,
Here.
Deborah Nelson,
Here.
John Banning,
Here.
Jan Sweaty,
Here,
Jessica Stickles,
Here.
Michelle White.
Here. Thank you. Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Question?
Those in favor?
All right.
aye.
Any opposed? So first we'll start out this week. It's Fire Safety Week. So Marilyn has a proclamation she'll share with us.
Okay. City of Arlington Proclamation, Fire Prevention Week, October 4 through the 10th of 2020. Whereas the City of Arlington, Washington is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Arlington. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are in the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and the fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. Whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, where fire departments responded to more than 173,200 annually between 2013 and 2017. And whereas 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of these fires resulting from unattended cooking. And whereas more than half of reported non-fatal home cooking fire inquiries occurred when the victims tried to fight the fire themselves. Whereas children under 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking than being burned in a cooking fire. Whereas Arlington residents should stay in the kitchen when frying food on the stovetop, keep a 3-foot kid-free zone around cooking areas, and keep anything that can catch fire away from the stove tops. And whereas residents who have planned and participated or practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. Whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. Whereas Arlington's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Arlington's residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. Whereas in the 2020 Fire Prevention Week theme, Serve Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Therefore, we do hereby proclaim October 4th through the 10th, 2020 as Fire Prevention Week in Arlington.
Thank you, Marilyn. And we want to encourage everybody to celebrate the men and women of our fire department this week. They've certainly, as the rest of us, have had a very challenging year with the pandemic and then, of course, the wildfires in the fall.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the minutes of the September 21st and September 28th, 2020 council meetings, as well as accounts payable, approval of EFT payments and claims checks 101000 through 101094, dated September 22nd, 2020 through October 5th, 2020 for $932,581.09.
Second.
Question?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have a short meeting this evening. We just have one item on the agenda, so we'll move into that, which is the coronavirus relief funds for local government, otherwise known as the CARES Act. Paul?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we discussed this last week at the workshop, but the city received an additional $296,100 in CARES Act funding to be applied towards the COVID support. We included in the packet the budget that not only included the new items that we were proposing for council to consider, but just a recap of the completed items. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on those that council has. Jessica sent an email out just a little bit ago with some questions on it. And I just wanted to respond and say, you were right on everything that you had marked. One item under public health was the North County outreach. That funding is proposed for cold weather shelter, although we're working with Northwest outreach on how that will be applied. So it wouldn't be a direct City of Arlington program. Does that make sense?
I think so. So North County Outreach would actually be responsible for the $30,000.
Correct, yeah. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I have one. I know one of the biggest concerns that everyone is thinking about clear across the country is when the eviction passes away and people have to start paying rent. And I know we have to spend, it looks like we have about $100,000 that isn't earmarked, if that's correct. And
Yes.
Okay, so my question is do we have a list of people who haven't been able to pay their rent and aren't going to be able to pay it when it comes due the 1st of November? Is there any way that we can help some of those people at all?
We used, as you can see right at the top, the first $200,000, it says complete. That was for businesses. We did rental relief and mortgage relief for businesses. Arlington Family Resource Center, we gave $100,000 in the first round to them for rental relief and utilities. We're proposing in this budget to give them an additional $50,000 to cover rental relief. So anybody that we know about that's having trouble with their rent or their mortgage, we're referring them to the resource center for them to vet them, and that resource is available. And there is opportunity here. We are on a pretty short timeline, but if the Family Resource Center goes through this $50,000, and we could up that to some additional money to cover more people that are struggling. It's just that right now, unless the state extends this, we got about 5 weeks to spend the money. So it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Do we have any idea how many households are behind in rent or mortgage? Do we have any of that information? Oh, okay.
We don't have that information, unfortunately, but we just don't know.
I wonder if the people we know that haven't been able to pay their utility bills, say to the city, is there any chance of asking them how they're doing for rent or mortgage payments?
Possibly this next time in here, we're proposing we will run the utility credit program. So that'll be within the city, similar to what we did with the business rental relief in the first round. We'll do an application process and vest those people in. So there's opportunity there to have contact with them.
Okay, because I know it's a super concern all over. They've been getting stuff out all over the country because it's going to really hit us hard. And if we've got a little extra cash and how we can find out who needs it is the problem. But thank you.
Sarah's been doing a good job of trying to make sure it's consistently in the e-news that goes out, and all of our frontline staff should a citizen inquire to them where they can get some help or some resources, directs them to the Family Resource Center.
Yeah, I guess one of my concerns is people, really low income people who are renting, and maybe elderly people who aren't on the mailing list or don't have computer access, so they're not getting the e-news and stuff like that. I guess that's my concern, is the ones that are really, really hurting out there.
It is concerning.
Don?
Barb, I think, didn't your email that you just sent out from the Resource Center, didn't that have a breakdown of what they spent the last couple of months of rent and utility relief? So it gives you an idea of what dollar amount, at least, I think, was on that.
I think it was about 44,000 that had went to rent and mortgage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was too. Yeah. So it gives you at least an idea of what they are spending.
Correct.
And the Volunteers of America, as well as many of the nonprofit organizations, are in touch with us at the city through my office and Paul's office, and they haven't been shy about telling us, when they've discovered a big need in the community that needs to be addressed. Not only, they do that all the time, not just during the pandemic, but we're always looking for ways to fill those needs. Jessica?
Yeah, I was wondering, you guys were going to check on the Boys and Girls Club childcare assistance and see if that funding was going to help them expand so that they could take more kids.
We're still working on that, but yes, that's the plan. We do have some alternate where we can help them out, possibly with expanding if they need more facility space. So
We received a letter last week on Tuesday from them that they had gotten some money, CARES funding, to put scholarships in program to provide childcare. But what they really were in need of was assistance for the food, for the meals for the kids, and some other supplies.
What was I going to ask? Now, one question I had with the childcare assistance too, with expanding, is how big their wait list is. Do we know that? And are there any other organizations that we can assist with that, just because that's such a high priority need right now?
I don't at this time know what their wait list looks like. I haven't made contact with them locally here to see what the wait list is. And it seems like there is some other programs out there that might be able to partner with the Boys and Girls Club if we need more capacity. So we sure will help with that.
And they would most likely be organizations whose venues are outside the city of Arlington.
So are we reaching out to these organizations here on this list, or did they come to you asking for these things?
Both, yeah, it's a mixture.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Okay, I move to approve acceptance of the Coronavirus Relief Fund grant in the amount of $296,000, or excuse me, $296,100. Approve the expenditures as set forth in the proposed budget. Approve the resolution amending the city's utility customer support program, and authorize the mayor to sign the grant and the resolution.
Second. Question?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any administrative report this evening?
Nothing this evening. I sent the electronic copy of the documents and PowerPoint for the retreat on Friday. We'll also get notebooks out so you have a hard copy so you'll be able to follow along during the Zoom retreat with a hard copy. You won't have to try to juggle it on the computer. So those will be out tomorrow. Should be out tomorrow or Wednesday morning. They're just about ready. We'll just need to go out and deliver them. So.
Michael, I see you made yourself visible. Did you have anything this evening?
No, Madam Mayor, I was just preparing to say goodbye.
Okay. I just didn't want to miss if you had some business. Okay, is there any council member that has a report this evening? Or comments from the council members? Jan?
Yeah, I have one small, really quick, good news. At the Community Transit Board meeting on Thursday, I had talked about the Cascade Industrial Center and how important it was for the Swift Goal Line that's coming to Arlington. And CEO Emmett Heath came on and said, even with COVID, we are still online to have that Swift line by 2027. So I was thrilled. I thought we were going to have to postpone it.
Good news. Anyone else? I have just one thing on transportation. A couple weeks ago, Marysville had received a letter on their funding out of the Connecting Washington package that had showed some reduced funding, and part of the project wasn't going to get done. So we had Jim Kelly reach out to WASDOT for our project on 172nd Street, the expansion of 531. And he received confirmation back from WASDOT that that project is still on track and still funded to go. There will be an effort to try to contain expenses. If the expenses get beyond the budget, then there'll be some challenges. But right now they're planning on going forward with that project. So we'll talk at the budget retreat about, how challenging that's going to be when that road's under construction, and some ideas we have that might alleviate those challenges for our citizens.
Awesome. Madam Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Being adjourned. Good to see you all.
We'll see you Friday.
Yeah, see you Friday.